Thanks for watching. Today we're going to be talking about the NES console. So hopefully you've just purchased one from us and you're setting this up for the first time. If not, I mean, we do have them always available, so you can always get one from us. But regardless of where you got it from, we're going to talk about the components that should come with your NES and how to hook it up to a TV and play games for yourself. So let's take a look at the system first off. So here we have the basic components that come in our box with our systems and should be the same regardless of where you get your system. So the first thing is one of either two different video cables. Now the NES console doesn't use stereo sound. It actually uses mono sound. So when we're looking at the cables, there's two different styles here. This is a regular RCA cable that you would normally get with a bunch of other components. If you ever bought a VCR in your life, then you would have got these with it. Basic DVD players, when they first came out, came with these. But regardless, we have, this is composite video. This is your yellow video jack, and then you have your red and your white audio. Now the NES, when we look at the console in a minute, I'll show you, only has one audio output. It's because the audio is only mono. So this is the other cable that could come with your console, which is just the yellow for the video and the red for the audio. Okay, when we're looking at the console, actually we'll talk about the other cables. So next off is an AC adapter. So that's the AC adapter, and there's the other end there. So that's for the power for your system. And then we have a controller. All of our consoles come with an original Nintendo branded controller. They've all been cleaned and PC tested to ensure that they work 100%. So those are the base components. NES games, there's the famous Mario Bros. Duck Hunt game. That's the one that originally came with the console when you originally bought it back in 1985 and beyond. So we'll talk about that in a minute. As far as hooking it up to the TV, today's TVs, in some cases, do not have these. Okay, so with today's TVs, a lot of TVs do not have the yellow input jack if it's a newer TV these days. A lot of TVs nowadays, especially the newer ones, will not have the composite input, so the yellow jack on the back of the TV. What we will have in those cases, or in most cases, is component input jacks on the actual TV itself. On the TV, you'll see the red and the white as pictured, the red, the blue, and the green. Those are the three video input channels. When we're talking about composite, in most cases, you would stick the yellow cable in the green jack that's highlighted there, and that'll give you your video output from the NES console. If you have issues that way, there is other components or other things you can use. And just to give you an idea, we'll go back to the desk here. Okay, so what I have here is an Armor 3 AV to HD box. So what this allows me to do is to take the yellow and your audio jacks, plug it into one end, and it outputs HDMI cable on the other end. So if your TV is one that does not have a component video inputs or composite inputs, or you're having any kind of difficulty getting the composite to work on your TV, this may be a solution for you. And I think these priced about $25. We usually have them available in store, but that'll give you another option to get your system working properly. Okay, so going back to the console itself, just going to remove those quickly there. So the console itself, games load into the front here. Okay, we have two buttons on the front, one being power, one being the reset button. The reset button just takes you back to your main menu. We have joystick inputs for two different controllers. And then on the back of the console, we have an RF switch right here. We have an RF out, and we have the power on it. And then on the side, we have our RCA connections. So we have the single audio, which is just the red one, and then we have the yellow, which is the composite video. So these two back here, the only situation you would end up using this if you're using an old tube TV that has no composite in on it, you would end up using that with an RF adapter, which we do have available in store. We don't sell them too often anymore. The quality is not very good. So it's not recommended to go that route if you have another means of hooking it up to your TV. But what we'll do is we'll just hook up this console. and I'll show you the output, and we'll talk about inserting the cartridges and such. When you get a console from us, and this one's going to be a problem just because the elastic. Okay, so when you get a console from us, we end up doing a little bit more work with it than what you would normally do if you get it from somebody else. What we do is we replace a 72-pin connector with a brand new 72-pin connector made by RepairBox. It's a version 2 connector on it. And what that does is it basically renews the system to make it like brand new, like Christmas morning 1985. The connector is the thing that actually reads to the cartridge. Inside here are cartridge electrical contacts, and it's read by the 72-pin connector. So we replace that connector with a brand new one. It means the cartridge will fit in very snug to start with, but will loosen up over time. The other thing we do is a lockout chip modification. So we eliminate the lockout chip in it, which there's a number of pins on the cartridge here that have to be read by the system to determine that the game is actually an original Nintendo game. We end up disabling that, which allows the games to read a little bit better. The last thing I want to note in regards to games is if you're using your old games that have been in storage for a very long time, or you're buying games from anybody else, before you put the games in your system, please ensure that the games are properly cleaned. Cleaning can be as simple as grabbing a Q-tip with some 99% alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and actually using a Q-tip. Let's grab a Q-tip here, and I'll grab my alcohol. And what you're basically going to be doing is taking your wet Q-tip with the alcohol on it, rubbing the cartridge on one side, sliding over, and rubbing it on the other side. And you keep on doing that until your Q-tip is pretty much non-black, so there's no black coming off the cartridge anymore. At the very, very, very least, you want to be able to do that. If you're looking at the cartridge and you can see a lot of corrosion or a lot of dirt on the contacts, please bring it into us or buy one of the bits to actually remove the screws, and then you can clean it a little bit better once it's actually out of the holder or the plastic. So going back to the system here, cartridge gets slid in the front. Now the one nice thing about our systems, because they have brand new 72-pin connectors, in most cases you don't actually have to push the cartridge into the down position. In most cases it'll read in the up position because it is a brand new contact or a brand new connector. The advantage of keeping it in the up position means that your pins are not being spread out and you don't have any premature wear. But along with that, what you want to do is after you've done playing with your console, you want to take the cartridge out of the cartridge slot. Do not leave it in there. That will prematurely spread out the pins and cause you problems sooner than other people that do take out the cartridge. So I've got the power hooked up there. What we're going to do is grab the AV cable here, take off the zip tie, and we're going to be going through the little Armor 3 AV to HD box, because we're hooking up to a newer TV that does not have composite input on it. Okay, and then these cables again go into the side of the console. Perfect. And then the controller itself is going to hook up to the front of the system, player number 1, and there's only one way that this controller will actually go in, and then we're good to go. So now, once we turn it on, we'll get a solid red light there, and we'll get an output on the TV, which is right there. And once you're there, we can start playing the game. Okay, and that's in the up position. So if we push this down into the down position, in most cases it'll read perfectly well, no problem at all. But if it does read in the up position, keep it in the up position. There's no reason to spread out the pins and push it down even further. As far as removing the cartridge, what you want to do, because the first few times is going to be a little bit tighter to take the cartridge out, you just want to wiggle back and forwards while pulling a little bit, and that'll remove the cartridge. Once you get it used in a little bit, and we start getting the contacts or the connector to have a little bit of dirt on it from different games and everything, it will slide in a lot easier. Just initially, the first few times, it will be a little bit tighter, and this one's brand new, ready to go. Hopefully that's helped you out a little bit. If you do have any questions or concerns, leave the comments below. If this is the first time checking out our channel, please subscribe to us. It would be greatly appreciated. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video, or a thumbs down if you don't like it. If you do give a thumbs down, please let me know why so we can improve for the future. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great day.